Welcome back, football fans, to another episode of the Prediction Show. It is a huge weekend of football. Celtic away at Rangers, Dortmund hosting Bayern Munich in a massive Bundesliga clash. There's also some very big games in the Championship and some chaos, continuous chaos at Loftus Road. Plenty to get through, so without further ado, let's get into it. And a quick heads up, we have rolled out a couple of new features on OddAlerts which we will be using in this video to find some of our predictions. We have a new form drop-down selection on the trends page, so you can now view trends for the last 5, 6, 10 games. And we also have a brand new feature on our form guide tool, which allows you to create your own curated form guides using thousands of potential leagues. You can just merge them all into one single form guide table, which is pretty cool. I'll show you exactly how to do it, and we'll find some games using it in this video. So we're going to start with the trends page and the new feature that we have added here. This is the trends page if you are new around here. And if you are new around here, what we have at the bottom here is the OddAlerts AI Insights bar, where it's just showing you stuff now about Monaco and previously Bayern Munich. And then on the right there, the sidebar is the form guide sidebar. That's showing all of the top European leagues. It's going through all of the metrics for the last 10 games, just for something for you to have a look at whilst I ramble on about the weekend's fixtures. If you see something in there that the rest of the community should know about or that could lead to a very good selection, get it in the comments. So the trends page, let's take a look at BTTS, shall we? And I'll showcase this new feature whilst hopefully finding some decent games. So you'll notice, if you're a frequent user of the trends page, that there is now a form selection. We can click it. We're going to go last 10. It'll update instantly, and we can now see all of the teams. It is quite a beautiful sight, really. The teams that have had BTTS in 10 or just fewer games. So Ajax away from home, 10 out of 10, 1.53 for it to happen in an 11th game in a row. Telstar from one of my favourite leagues in the world, the Eerste Divisie, the second division in Netherlands. Aldershot Town, 10 out of 10, 1.66 for it to happen again. We can click on any of the games and we see that Rochdale have scored in 94% of their games, BTTS landing in just 50%, so we can see that they've conceded in only 50%. So Rochdale, a very good team it seems. Aldershot Town scored in every single home game, so that is straight away, just by filtering for the recent form, we can unearth games and teams like this. And we also have this overall table here where it will get the last 10 games for each team, put them together, and then give you this new percentage. So there is a game that's standing out to me right now, and it's just under my head. It is Mallorca hosting Real Sociedad. I remember looking at Real Sociedad recently when they faced Madrid. They're a good team, and BTTS has landed in plenty of games for them. Let's take a little look at their data. So first of all, BTTS 1.83, it's decent. I think we could probably put together a double using the trends page. And just to showcase the BTTS recency for Sociedad, we can look at the results tab, go to BTTS, and we can see that a hell of a lot of games have ended with BTTS. If you don't know what this does, it color codes based on whatever you've selected. So if we select over 2.5 goals, you can see that some of the games now go red. But for BTTS, there is an awful lot of green there. And there is that Real Madrid game. They lost 4-1. But they played okay. They play some good football and they score against most teams that they play against. And Mallorca are not as good, certainly, as Real Madrid. So can they get a goal against this Sociedad team? Well, at home, they are scoring in the majority of their games. And we can again use this and drop down just to see exactly how many games they've scored in. They've scored in every single game since the opening day when they failed to score against Barcelona. I think this is going to make the first of our BTTS doubles. So jumping back to the BTTS page, I've actually found another game. As you can see, Barnsley are here. I saw Middlesbrough as well. Middlesbrough, 8 of their last 10 away games. They've allowed Coventry to open up a gap again, haven't they, at the top of the Championship? We will take a look at the Championship in this video because there are some incredible runs, not just wins, but goals, as you'll see. A certain home team in the Championship, over 2.5 goals, lands every single week. Will it happen again this week? We'll find out. This is the game that I'm going to pair with the BTTS game. Maribor against Radmajal. BTTS has landed in 73% of away games for them, and the home team has scored in every single game they've played at home this season. They've conceded in 58%, and Radmajal have scored in 82%. So adding that to the Mallorca and Real Sociedad selection gets these odds, 2.9. Let me know what you think about that one in the comments. The winner for OddAlerts Pro has been selected. I've replied to your comment and I've encouraged you to email me and I'll get you started. Well done to you. The same applies for this video. Every single comment automatically entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro. Get your comments in, get your predictions in for any of the games that we cover on this episode of the Prediction Show, or any game that you're looking forward to this weekend. Now, we will go back to showing off the new features on the trends page, and we'll also take a look at the new form guide feature. But first, I want to take a look at a team that has just sacked their manager. They've not won in many, many games in the Championship. Will there be a new manager bounce? Well, it won't be because they haven't got a new manager yet. But will there be a sort of new coach bounce for West Bromwich Albion? Yes, it is West Brom. They are away at Oxford. This is a decent game for them, I think, if they do get some sort of bounce from relieving Eric Ramsey of his duties. 9 games in charge, no victories, just moved over here from the US, taking this job. 6 weeks later, he's out of the job. They're on about getting Darren Moore back, potentially. He is the favourite to return, potentially just until the end of the season. And they're playing Oxford United, who are 23rd. They're essentially bottom of the league because Sheffield Wednesday are on -7 points. Now, even despite both of these teams not scoring many goals in recent times, I still think there could be an open nature to this game. West Brom need the points. They really do. They're only 1 point above Leicester, who are now in the relegation zone. I think both teams need to win this game. And evens for BTTS is quite appealing. It is 1.83 on Bet365, which is where I price it up and show you on the screen. So what I'm going to do now is use a quick filter to find a partner in crime for this BTTS selection. So we're going to create a quick filter that finds us a partner for that selection, and we're going to be looking at over 1.5 goals. So we're just going to lean on the probability model, set 0 and 100 because we want to actually sort all the games by this metric, and we can do that by clicking the circle. And then we're just going to add a filter for the competition, find the Championship, click the plus icon, come out of here, hit search, no games today. Let's click on Saturday. Now all of the games are sorted by the over 1.5 goals probability, QPR. We're going to take a look at that game later, trust me, because there is going to be goals in that game. What I want to do now is actually set a filter on the odds. So we go to over 1.5 goals, let's say 1.3, we hit search, and we see that the top ranked game is Portsmouth against Hull City. I'm just going to trust the probability model here. It's doing a lot of work in the background to come up with these values. So Portsmouth against Hull City, let's add that to our selection. So with that Hull game added, the selection looks like this. As always, let me know what you think in the comments, and that is how easy it is to make quick filters. Really, it is so quick, and it finds the games. It's scanning through thousands of games in a matter of seconds. You don't have to filter for the Championship. You can just filter all games by the probability model. It's a very powerful way to find fixtures for the weekend. Now back to the trends pages. We were looking at BTTS. We're going to take a look at away wins now. Incidentally, away wins are a great way to find teams for BTTS, I feel. If you've got a strong away team, you only need a capable home team. Let's take a look at the last 10 again, and we can see a team from Germany, Bayern Munich. Their away form is good. They've won 8 out of 10. They've got a pretty big game coming up against Borussia Dortmund. We can see here their home form and away form is identical. Let's take a look at this one. And then we're also going to let OddAlerts AI give us a selection for this massive game in the Bundesliga, Saturday, 5:30. Will you be watching this one? What are your early predictions for it? Can Dortmund get one over their rivals? So Dortmund, the first thing we're going to look at is the odds. They are outsiders at home, nearly 5s to win a game of football at home. They lost the last game, which was on Wednesday night, so they are not as fresh as Bayern Munich, hence the odds. But at home, in the Bundesliga this season, they are unbeaten so far, and they are scoring plenty of goals. They've scored more than 2 goals in the majority of their games. Bayern Munich, of course, amazing away from home, unbeaten. Their defeat actually came at home. They have beaten Dortmund already. We can take a look at the head-to-head here. Let's look at the last 10 games, and we can see that Bayern have won 60% of the games. Interestingly, though, when we click this, it shows us the location is a little bit more even, isn't it? So it does depend on who's playing at home, but Bayern Munich, they've won 6 of the last 10 games, over 2.5 goals in 8, and BTTS in 8 as well. Bayern Munich usually win, but Dortmund usually score. Will it be the same in this one? Well, let's ask our friend OddAlerts AI. So here is the response. Let's see what we have here. I'll try and rush through it. There's a lot of data to get through. Bayern Munich are an away goal machine. They've scored 3 or more in 70% of their last 10 away games, over 2.5 goals in every away match this season. That's good to know, isn't it? Harry Kane, by the way, absolutely on fire. Did you see his goal last weekend? Left foot, 30 yards out, just buries it bottom corner. Can you do that for England, please? We scroll down, we see Bayern Munich unbeaten in 9 away games, scoring in 14 straight trips and netting 3+ goals in 70% of those outings. Basically, we know about Bayern Munich. The verdict: expect a high-scoring affair with both teams finding the net. Bayern's firepower should edge them to victory, but Dortmund's home solidity won't keep them shut out. BTTS is almost a certainty, and the total goals lines will likely be over 2.5. So 1.44 for BTTS. The bookies are expecting it as well. Bayern Munich to win, 1.67. Value bets, Dortmund to win, as you might have expected. The draw at 4.6. Both teams have shown tight contests recently. The draw price is slightly generous. I do agree with that, actually, and you could see a score draw potentially in this game. There has been a few draws in recent times between these teams. Bet Builder, Bayern Munich to win and both teams to score approximately over evens 2.4. Let's go with that. Bayern Munich to win and both teams to score. That was OddAlerts AI. You can use it on any fixture on the website. Just find the fixture and do what I just did there. So now to the Premier League, and we are sticking with OddAlerts AI. This is the dedicated AI predictions and insights page. It's OddAlerts AI generating insights that are very digestible based on all of the data for anybody to come and have a look at. And we're going to scroll down to one that I read before, which I thought was quite interesting. Late goal specialists point to second half fireworks. Fulham see 2.4 goals on average in the second half versus just 0.9 in the first half. 9 of their last 10 games have seen most goals being scored in the second half, and 64% of their goals came after 70 minutes. That is pretty good data, isn't it? Spurs have scored in 9 out of 10, and then it's just showing you the odds there for a second half goal, a single second half goal, 1.2. I do like the look of most goals being scored in the second half. You could also reduce risk, maybe Fulham to score in the second half, because Tottenham and Igor Tudor really won't want to do anything stupid in the first half. He'll want to keep things tight. That is kind of his style as well, from what I read before he played that first Spurs game against Arsenal, where they collapsed, ironically, in the second half. I think we're going to go with that. Let's look at it right now. Most goals in the second half, just over evens at 2.05. Next up, we are going back to the trends page because I want to show you a team in the Championship that are just providing so much value to their season ticket holders. So looking at the over 2.5 goals trends, we are then looking at the last 10 again, and we can see QPR here. Let's just go and take a look at their game. They're playing Sheffield United, who not the most free scoring team. Let's take a look at the data because it is beautiful. So when looking at their form, there's nothing special about it when you're just looking at it from a results point of view. They win some, they lose some. They've had good spells, bad spells. When we look at their home form and then start to look at, let's say, over 2.5 goals, it all turns green. And it stays green until the 1st of October, BTTS as well, in the majority of games. The only game that wasn't BTTS was against Sheffield Wednesday, who just cannot score a goal at the moment, ever. They are the worst team in the Championship by some distance. Now, Sheffield United are only narrow favourites for this game. Just wanted to show you cards as I build up the sort of picture of this game and show you the referee here. We look at his Championship form. He has booked both teams in 80% of games this season. So bear that in mind when I show you this selection. That is right, I am going for more chaos at Loftus Road, BTTS and over 2.5 goals at 2.7, and I also, obviously, as you can see, put in both teams to be carded, 2.7. Let's hope for more carnage at Loftus Road, QPR. There's just goals wherever they go. Now then, I hope you're enjoying the video so far. By the way, I know there's a lot to get through, and I did say that we were going to look at the new form guide tool, so we are going to show you that right now. And I've moved me into the middle so that you can see the teams here and the data that we select here. So the new feature is called League Mix. Terrible name, as it usually is, but you can create a mix of competitions to add into the form guide. So we click Mix, and now we can start searching. So we're going to go England. Let's do Championship, League 1, League 2, National League. Then let's go to Germany. And we'll put in Bundesliga, Bundesliga 2 and Bundesliga 3, and let's just leave it at that. We'll select 7 leagues just to show you how it works. It builds the table for you, and then you can just go in and see all of the metrics that you love on the form guide for those leagues. So previously you would not be able to add the National League. It wasn't an option. Now there are thousands of competitions that you can add to the form guide. So let's have a look who's doing what in these competitions, and I'll get back to you in a moment. So looking at games lost here, these are the teams that are unbeaten in 10 games. Rochdale, and they're playing Aldershot, who have only lost once in 10 games. Lincoln, they're unbeaten in more than 10 games, let me tell you. Bromley, Milton Keynes and York City. I also noticed as well, there's a lot of German teams that are unbeaten at the minute. We've got teams here that have lost just once in 10, and a lot of them are German. Southampton doing well, Cardiff doing well. I tell you what, they are 2 teams that I wanted to cover, so let's have a look at Southampton against Sheffield Wednesday. Link to the form guide, by the way, in the description if you want to check it out. You can use the code YouTube for 15% off if you want to check it out this weekend. Absolutely no pressure. You can use it for free as well. Obviously, the mix feature is a pro feature. Let's now check out Southampton, and then we're going to go to Cardiff as well. So Southampton, as we saw, they've not lost that many games recently. They're doing very well. QPR 5-0. That was another game for QPR that went over 2.5 goals, but they lost. Sheffield Wednesday, they know all about losing games recently. They've won 1 game this season, and it was back in September. They are already relegated. It's not looking good for them, and Southampton could have a bit of fun here. Just in terms of second half goals as well, I saw on the form guide whilst I was playing around, no team across the European major leagues has scored more second half goals than Southampton. They have 11 second half goals in the last 6 games. They are joint top with Estoril from Portugal, Rangers, Liverpool and Sporting Lisbon on 11 goals. Now, if you want to see how bad it is at Sheffield Wednesday, this is a good indication. They have not generated 1 XG in a championship game since Boxing Day there on the 26th of December. Just realised I'm still in the middle of the screen. Let's put me there. So what are you thinking for this one? Do you think there will be any kind of revival for Sheffield Wednesday this season? I really can't see it. I'm going to go with this. It is Southampton to win both halves at 3s, and there is also Southampton to score in both halves at 1.9 if you wanted to go with that. But I think if Southampton score in both halves, it's probably quite likely that they win both halves. So Southampton to continue their impressive form under their new manager. And as always, get your predictions in the comments. Let me know what you think of these videos, this format. Is it too long? Do I talk too much? Just let me know, get your feedback in the comments. Any comments automatically entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro. Next, we are checking out Cardiff away at Doncaster in League One. Cardiff top of League One and plenty of goals in their games recently. 5 of their last 6 have seen 4 or more goals, including a 5-2 defeat away at Plymouth. And if we're looking at goals scored, they're scoring goals. In fact, they have scored 2 or more in the last 6 League One games, and I expect them to continue scoring in this game. As I mentioned, they are top of the table, and they have an 11-point lead over Bolton in 3rd place, Bolton/Bradford, regardless. An 11-point lead in that promotion spot. They are looking very, very good for automatic promotion. And they're at Doncaster, who, as we can see here, are a much improved team since the turn of the year. Just 3 defeats in 12 games in 2026, scoring in 10 of those games. The last meeting between these two teams was actually a 4-3 game in December. Let's hope for more of the same, shall we? I think there's a few different options that you could go for here. I think BTTS looks good over 2.5 goals, but ultimately, when I see Cardiff to win at evens or even just slightly above with some bookmakers, I'm going to take that because they've won 64% of their games in League One this season. They are top of the table. They are the dominant team in most of the games they played this season, and I expect them to win this game. So this is what I'm on. Cardiff City to get the job done. Now then, the final game we are going to cover is in Italy. Grab your pizza. Yes, it is Roma against Juventus. Big game in the race for 4th spot. A very big game for Juventus. A lot of pressure on them. I mean, there is huge amounts of pressure on the manager already. They got a victory, but it was for nothing because they were demolished in the first leg in the Champions League. They are out of the Champions League, which means it is pretty important to get in 4th spot this season in Italy. This is their run, 1 win in the last 6 games, and they are conceding for fun. Really, they are. They've conceded 3-2, 5, 3-2, 3-1. The last clean sheet came against Monaco away in a 0-0 draw. And they are facing Roma in Rome, who just so happen to be unbeaten in the last 6 games in Serie A. Looking at the head-to-head data is quite interesting. Across the last 10 games, Juventus have won 5, there's been 4 draws, and Roma has won just once. Just jumping back to the form guide for a second to show you something that you might use or you might not. Juventus, no team in the major European leagues has conceded more second-half goals in the last 6 games than Juventus, 12 in the last 6. That's, of course, 2 on average per second half. Will they concede again? I do think they'll concede, but I think this is such a big game for them that they're also going to score. Here's my prediction. So I'm going to go with over 2.5 goals here at 2.36. Such a big game, this one, for the race for top four. I think Juventus simply have to go and try and win this game. They're under so much pressure from their fans to improve, and I think this could lead to a pretty open game in Rome. So I will leave you with the BTTS records here on the form guide page. Link in the description for all of the tools that I've used. There's many tools that I don't have the chance to use on these videos. Get in the Discord. Let me know what you want to see on OddAlerts. Follow us on X, on YouTube, wherever. And thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one.